Welcome to 7 Days to Die, the zombie horde survival game where you will be punching a lot of grass. You'll also be punching the occasional bush and of course the occasional tree. Ooh, go down, kill it. If you're unlucky, you'll also be punching the stones and the rocks, but use an axe definitely saves your knuckles. You'll be smashing the odd zombie in the face. Yep, come on, do it. Oh, power attack. And what would a game like this be without actually doing some building? Let's make a nice little wooden deck here so we can put down a chair, maybe a bedroll, and maybe a campfire. We can even cook some food. I mean, who doesn't want a little bit of charred meat, some really burnt steak, and oh, doesn't that look so cozy? As time goes by, you want to upgrade your weapons so that you're even better at smashing the zombies in the face. Just like that. And if there's a lot of them, you definitely want to upgrade to some nice guns because, well, who wants to be hit by a zombie? You'd rather make sure you do the hitting yourself, of course, with your weapon fire. As it gets dark, you cower within your little square base, trying to avoid the attention of the zombie. Because when the zombies get to you, oh no, they will be breaking in and they'll be trying to kill you and eat you up. Ooh. Sometimes you make some new friends as well, like Jen. And sometimes you make a lot of friends. All of them are not that friendly though, even though they probably love you. But of course, you already know all of this, so let's not spend time getting into that. But we're going to be in Alpha 19 now, at least for the streamer weekend. And Experimental will be out on Monday. And there's a lot of things in there. I hope you've caught a couple of my videos during the week where the Fun Pimps have been trying to go through a bunch of the features. But now that we have the change notes, and I can look at the game myself, I'm going to go through some of the pieces and sort of give some highlights of what is Alpha 19. So, welcome to Savage Country. Welcome to 7 Days to Die Alpha 19. If you enjoy my videos, why not leave me a like and subscribe to me? I'm also streaming across the weekend, Saturday and Sunday at around 11 a.m. EST, which is about 5 p.m. in Central European time on both Saturday and Sunday. So come and hang out, have a look at when I'm streaming the game. You can watch either on YouTube, but Twitch usually is better for watching streams. So check me out at twitch.tv/videoe42. I will also have some key giveaways, so check the description below for one of them, and I will have further during the actual stream. So one of the first things you're going to see when you get into the game is that it actually looks really amazing. They've changed how they handle lighting, which initially, I didn't think it's going to have a major impact, but it actually really makes the game look really vibrant. So this is on default brightness, and it looks good. Let me change it up to 100% brightness in Alpha 18. This would make it look super washed out, and it still looks really good. Of course, it looks a little bit whitewashed to some degree, but it's not like Alpha 18. The colors are still there. If I go to the nighttime, brightness is at max, and look at how vibrant it looks. Compared to, of course, default, which is a lot darker, but with the brightness cranked up to the max, it still looks really good. And that's something you're going to see throughout the whole game. It just looks so much more vibrant. The colors pop. And here you see the interactive loading screen where obviously you have a view, a picture, but you also have different tidbits down here. You can click left and right button to circle through them, which is actually pretty good. I mean, it's fairly common in games to have something like this, and it really can help to be able to sort of go through them and pick up new things. Maybe when they release new patches, they can put in that information here as well, so actually can understand how it works. For instance, that armor rating of 90 reduces incoming damage by 90%. I actually did know that because they've been changing things around a fair bit, but this is a tidbit that really helps. As you get into the game, you'll also notice that a lot of the blocks, a lot of the entities, including the zombies, have gotten a makeover. So here we have a bunch of the new ones, and you can see they're definitely a lot more high definition than they used to be, and that makes them really look wonderful. And with the colors just popping, and it looks so gross, but you can really look at them and you go like, ooh, this looks so much better than the previous versions. Of course, it's still scary to run across these at night, but judging from how they've improved the looks and that they're still improving a bunch of the zombies, they are definitely a force to be reckoned with. Not just with their fist, but also the way they look. Another huge change is really how they handle critical hits and injuries. And it's something that they have been playing around with for a bit, but I think this time they've actually gotten a really good implementation. So if I go look at my critical hits here, or my buffs, you can actually left click here on the side as well, and you see what they do. I got hit a few times and I got a broken arm. It's going to take 2 hours to heal, and the max health is lowered by 24.8, and of course this is going to decrease as it slowly heals. I have an abrasion that lowers my max health by 6%. I still have 100% healing speed, but if you check here, it actually tells you how do you treat this one. So the abrasion gets some low cream, first aid or first aid kit, first aid bandage or kits. The broken arm, you need a splint or a cast. So if I then go and get a splint, here we go, and let's get a first aid. Let's get a first aid bandage. Alright, so if I then use that, that should then impact, let's see, on the left side, yep, you saw that it decreased in time, and if I use the splint, you'll see that one has gone down a lot. So now I have a splinted arm instead, and the max health is still lower, but less, and it is slowly healing up a lot faster than before. Same thing with abrasion. It's now treated, but I believe if you go around and jump, or you do other things that can actually aggravate it, it actually can take longer to heal anyway. And there I broke my leg, so now I have a splinted arm. I also have a broken leg. So this one, again, the same thing. It's going to take 1 hour and 59 minutes. And if I run around on this and jump, yep, you saw it went up to 2 hour recovery period again. So you can just take it slowly. I have a broken leg. If I just sit around for 2 hours, it will heal. I don't need to have a splint. But if I run around and jump, for instance, it will go up to a higher time again, which means that, well, I'm going to have to wait a lot longer. So now splints and stuff like that are really, really important, because let's say I do that, you'll see I have a splinted leg and a splinted arm. I can run around slightly faster. I can jump. And it might go up to higher time as well, so that it takes longer to recover. But it's not going to be 2 hours. It's still going to be max, I believe, 39 or 40 minutes. And you can see when the icon starts blinking, it means it's taking some additional injury damage. So now I'm trying to sprint with a broken leg, and yeah, my body doesn't like that. Another fan favorite here is that you have the food and the water bars. This is something that vanished some time ago, but now it's back, so you can tell sort of how they are. So if I go and let's say I drink some water here, you'll see that on the left side, this one counts down because it's I'm slowly hydrating, and the water one goes up. And if I do the same thing for the Cham Chowder here, you'll see I have some buffs. This one goes up, the hunger bar goes up as well. You'll see it'll keep going up. I got tons of things here as well. But you also have some different buffs that you can see here. I have a max stamina bonus that gives me extra 30 stamina. So it goes up to 130 as opposed to 100 max. And you'll see the same thing with some of these ones. For instance, health recovery gives me better healing and everything, which obviously is good because my health is down. So you can really see how you can tack on these buffs by eating and drinking well. And of course, making sure you stitch up your wounds or splint your broken or sprained arms and legs. And you've been hearing some things such as the dynamic music system. And that has gotten an upgrade. And now it's changed because now I'm nearby my bedroll. So it's the game is saying, hey, you're around your home, which is kind of funny here because I didn't even have any walls or anything. But if you're around your bedroll, for instance, the game thinks that, oh, let's do a chill tune here because you're sort of sitting here, home base and everything. It's different daytime and nighttime. So you'll see that as well as you progress through the game, you explore, you'll have sort of a suspenseful tune. As you have combat, you'll have a little bit irritating combat tune, but they've really improved on the dynamic music system, and I hope they continue working on it because while it's getting better, it's not quite there, but it's definitely much better. So this is a good thing in Alpha 19. They've also started to put on-screen sprite system and icons. You'll see here, I'll have my bedroll, which of course, you'll see the bedroll anyway, but Would you see your spears? Well, now you definitely will, because there's a range marker. They're blinking, so you know that these are the spears that I just threw, which means it's a lot easier to go and collect them. And normally, would you see your mini bike around here? You might, but as you get closer, you'll even get a mini bike icons. You just have to go to the general area. This one could have been a little bit harder to see in among the grass. That's something that was a major problem in some of the versions. You just couldn't find your mini bike. You got out, you went driving, you got off, you did some looting, some fighting, and then you just couldn't find your mini bike. Now you'll get on-screen sprite as well, and they've done that for a lot of things, like your backpack after you've died, when you're digging for buried treasure and stuff like that. And that, I find that really, really useful. I think that as long as this keeps to be not overdone, but something like this is really helpful. I would not find that spear otherwise, unless I knew this exactly where it landed. Because, you know, it is still pretty small. You throw it off in the distance, and it's like, you might not find it. Especially if you're fighting at the time, it can be a little bit of a tough thing to go and locate it. So that's really nice to see. There's been a bunch of world and location updates, and this is Savage Country. So a lot of the new POIs have been put into the game, and one thing that they've done that is really nice, it's so dark all of a sudden. Anyway, that was interesting. Because I moved from outside to inside? Yeah, I think it is. Oh, that's interesting. A bit more spooky. So they've changed the light depending on where you are as well. Alright. So you can see that it's been really updated. They put in a ton of new POIs in the game as well. And they got a lot of assets, and I'll cover that in a while again. But you'll see they look just amazing. I've suspended the zombies right now, so they're in suspended animation almost. At least they won't be coming for me, which is probably good. You can imagine going into a lot of these PIs with this new assets, new layout, and it just looks really, really good. And furthermore, what they've also done is that they've made sure that as you generate a random world, the game will try as far as it can to pick POIs that have not been placed and place them out. So you should be able to experience all or almost all of these POIs in the world before you start to see this duplication. So you won't see, you know, 5 of the radio shacks or whatever before you start to see, well, for instance, Savage Country. And of course, some of these POIs will look similar to what they did previously, but sort of reimagined in a new way to just look a lot better. Look more realistic in how they've been crafted, how they've been created, and also give you sort of that new exploration feel as you go around the world and you see POIs that you sort of think that you would be recognizing, but they're being fairly redone. And as you can see, there's been a lot of changes in the art and assets. So previously you would have some store shelves, but they definitely didn't have anything on them. These ones have a lot of things on them, which makes it look a lot more real. So no longer will you be walking around in stores that just look really drab and you have this 2D texture. Now it's all really nice 3D look for a lot of these things. And you can see it makes a huge difference for, I guess, the immersion of the game. You walk around like this and it really looks like a store that has been really just trashed, and there's a lot of old and rotten things that are simply, well, you might want to loot it, but you might not really want to eat it. Whoa! Might not want to eat and drink it. Hey friends, was that painful? So as I've been looking through a lot of these POIs, I'm just struck by how nice they really look. I mean, it really feels like there's stuff there as opposed to just being a bench or a counter or something. Now there's actually goods. You see the shoes are there. You see dead people are there. You'll see even the gun rack here. Look at this. I mean, this looks really nice. I wish we could craft these ones and put an arm basis, but I'm going to put that in my modlet, my expanded decoration modlet, because that looks just awesome. I mean, look at this. This just looks so much more realistic than before. And as they've been improving the graphics, they've also put in more particles such as the fog, and that looks really nice here. This is a pretty low fog that you can imagine sort of rolling in for a while. But you could also imagine a really thick fog rolls in daytime, but what's around? You see some stuff, but yeah, you definitely will not see the zombies or maybe the rabbits before you're almost on top of them. So this is something that looks really good. The performance is still all right. And even though I don't think you'll see something like this in the game, you could imagine that they could have that as part of event. You could have Blood Moon Hordes where you have some fog, so you don't actually see exactly where all the zombies are coming from. And you'll hear them out there, but you don't see them until they're, 10, 20 meters away from you. And doesn't the sky just look so awesome? It looks rich. It looks very vibrant. I wish they would layer it, maybe, if they can do that in a way that doesn't break performance too much, because it feels like it's sort of one sky that is all moving the same direction and the same speed and everything. And normally clouds don't do that because they're at different elevations, but no, definitely it's better than before. You can see the colors are just so vibrant and so beautiful. And no zombie game would be complete without, well, of course, a lot of a nice weapon. So here's the Desert Vulture. Really nice. Oh, it feels really good to shoot. Sound is not too bad. Feels very heavy. Of course, have auto shotgun. Ooh, this is probably gonna be a favorite for a lot of people, I suspect. And who doesn't like a new steel mace? Or steel club, rather. Even though... Oh, I think they do have to work on probably the sound. It sounds like it's the same as for the baseball bat. Fun Pimps, I think you need to update that. Looks awesome though. You have a new heavy sniper rifle using the 7.62 bullets. And not that I'm super good at sniping, but yeah, this is good. Feels nice. Sound-wise, maybe it needs to be buffed up just a little bit. It looks really huge though, maybe a bit too huge. But at least it works really good for popping heads. A new assault rifle. An upgrade from the AK-47. That also allows you to shoot poor little rabbits. And of course, zombie heads, if you're good at aiming. One of the new things is also the junk sledge. Oh, come on. Nope. You put it down. Alright, there you go. So it basically is like a junk turret, but except it's using sort of a sledge thingy to... bash the zombies. Let me see if I can turn on the AI here, see how it works. It doesn't seem to be hugely effective. It seems like it works, but I don't know. I'm still on the fence with this one. I'm gonna have to really try it out, because you see the zombies definitely, because it's got really short range, the zombies walk past it fairly easily, and if there's a few of them, I don't think it'll really keep you safe. Like there. Feral one just runs straight past it. It's not gonna save me. Alright, no. But this one will. And of course, we have the junk drone. Oh, awesome. Oh, I bet you've been looking forward to see more of the junk drone, right? Look at it. Oh, it looks really nice, right? Unfortunately, it's not done, so it's not fully in the game. So, unfortunately, I can't show this to you. But I can show you the impact driver. You want to dismantle a nice little car like this? Oh, look at it. Look at all the stuff I'm getting on the right side. Oh, I'm getting so much stuff. I think I got... Did I even get an engine? Oh, I got an engine on the first try. Yes! Time for electricity. Let's make another one. Let's take another one here. So this is an upgrade from the wrench, and definitely it's a lot better. It's nice and fast. Oh, it uses a lot of stamina, though. That's weird. I think you should be using a lot less stamina as well, because that's a lot of stamina. But yeah, see, I wrenched that whole car, or rather, I impact drove it? Oh, whatever you want to call it. There's also a bunch of candy in the game, which is effectively a booster shot. And I wish they would just call it a booster shot, not just candy. Come on, candy. It's so kitty. It doesn't make sense in a zombie apocalypse. But anyway, I take them as booster shot, which gives you some good buffs. This one gives you explosion damage. You look at this one, which gives you a shock AOA radius. You have another one that gives you 100% lockpick success for 10 minutes. You have salvage harvest. You have fall damage immunity. You have better melee damage and stuff like that. And these one can only be purchased in the vending machines. You can't actually craft them yourself. So these are a new addition. I think it's cool that they put them in. I wish they would put in a downside as well. So maybe you have 50% melee damage, but maybe afterwards for 1 minute to 2 minutes, you have maybe 25% slowness of your movement. So while you can run around and fight very well, afterwards you need a little bit of extra time to rest. And I wish they would redo these ones as sort of scientific zombie tech booster shots or something that Higashi scientists have come up with in a way to sort of harvest from the zombies and extract some of the abilities, because Candice just doesn't seem to be thematic. But at least we have them. Just eat them all up. Eat all candy, candy, candy. You might need to go to the dentist frequently though. You might be curious about the skills and perks, and essentially I would say that most of them are the same or very similar to Alpha 18. So if you look at perception, you'll see sort of the same ones that you saw before. Some of them have been rebalanced. Instead of having 5 lockpicking perk levels, now you have 3. Same for infiltrator, for animal track and stuff like that, which makes them probably a lot more useful. There have been some changes. For instance, I believe heavy armor was part of fortitude, now it's part of strength, so they have shifted things around a little bit. Intellect, they've removed science, and they've sort of shifted that probably between advanced engineering, maybe grease monkey, and sort of to make it a little bit more straightforward and easily accessible. But overall I think it's almost the same except for those rebalancing. Perk books, the book series that were in the game or put in the game in Alpha 18 are, I think, essentially the same. I've done a little bit of checking in some of them, and they look to be fairly similar. They have added on a few ones. For instance, now you have ball brawling for your knuckle wraps and knuckle irons. You have spear hunter for using the spears, and of course you have the tech junkie for using your robotic sledgehammer and drones and stuff like that. So they've expanded that into a few more extra book series, and that's good. It just rounds it off. The zombie AI has also gotten an update. You can see, let me see if they fall down. You see they stumble a little bit. And you'll see also when you punch them, they'll flinch a little bit. You see she flinches back. There's a little bit of a hit reaction every time you punch them, not like in Alpha 18 where sometimes they would stumble back, but most of the time they wouldn't. Now at least they flinch, you get a little bit of feedback. You also see the head tracking, that they actually follow you with their head, even if the whole body is not necessarily. Other changes is that, well, now the zombies make it over these wedge tips. You see, it'll make it over. However, you can still injure them, and if you're lucky, they stumble a little bit and they fall down. Well, they obviously die. Let me see if I can do that here. Can I get her to stumble? No. Fall down? No, she's not falling down. They treat this as just a flat surface that they walk on. If you are lucky like that one, they still do fall down. After you hit them once, they are not dead, but they fall down, and sometimes they do slip off. But it's definitely something that they fixed from Alpha 18. But standing here with an auto shotgun, well, you're actually pretty safe anyway. Might not be as safe during the Blood Moon Horde, but well, if you have a long drop, then that always is helpful as well. I'm really excited to see more of this, and we will be getting into experimental most likely on Monday. But that's my welcome to you into the world of Alpha 19. I'll catch you again tomorrow.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.